Hi everyone, and welcome to Screams After Midnight. This is the horror podcast here in the Melfuzz Podcast Network. Every week on iTunes, Stitcher and YouTube with video, we talk about horror movies from the past and the present. We've got a new release next week, but this week we're paying respects to Wes Craven, who passed away just over a week ago, and we're going to discuss one of his films from 1977, The Hills Have Eyes. So that's what we're going to do today, but here this week we have Tim once again.
Yo!
We have Joseph, returning as always.
Hello.
And from Northern Ireland we have no wait, we don't have Kevin, we have fucking Connor, because Kevin is still without internet and has disappeared off the face of the earth, which happens to be just 1 week before The Visit, the movie he's been telling us is going to be the greatest thing of all time for the past 3 months. If that little dick isn't back to watch that movie and be on this podcast, I am going to go to Northern Ireland and I am going to put my foot square up his arse. Hi Connor.
Oh my.
Hi.
That emotion. I
Come
love
on,
it.
Kevin.
Fucking Kevin. Alright, yeah, so we're here to talk about The Hills Have Eyes. And we picked this one because we're saving like, Screaming Nightmare on Elm Street for sort of pairing with our sequels and stuff, because we'll do some like a franchise month or something at some point. But we're going to do The Hills Have Eyes. I actually quite like this movie. Outside of Nightmare and Scream, this is probably my favourite Craven. It's up there. It's in that top 3, I guess is what I'm saying.
I agree with that.
Oh, interesting. Alright, so that's a sort of general thing. Before we get into details or specifics, just sort of generally, did you like the movie? And I guess Tim said yes, so we can skip Tim now and move over to Connor.
It was fine. I don't think it was particularly great, but it was fine.
Joseph?
A well-deserved classic. Connor doesn't know what he's talking about.
Oh,
That's true.
Connor's the odd one out this week. That must feel nice, Joseph. We're not going to gang up on you this week. Yeah, I mean, the plot's pretty simple. I mean, a family are, I guess, moving to California, but they've got their truck in their, would you call that a Winnebago? Or maybe it's not, it's just a trailer, because it's not driving itself.
Hey, camper.
Camper, yeah. Trailer. Camper, yeah. And they're travelling to California, but they've decided to take this really weird route through the desert because apparently one of them's inherited a silver mine out there. And despite the protests of the rickety old prospector who lives at the gas station nearby, they decide to go into the desert anyway. They break down because a squirrel gets in the way, and the band of weird cannibal people in the hills, hence the title The Hills Have Eyes, attack them and leads to bad stuff, and then eventually there needs to be some revenge. Although you could argue it's just protecting themselves and getting their loved ones back rather than revenge in its true sense. But it's actually very similar in terms of a structure to The Last House on the Left, which is the film he did just before this, in that the first half is basically horrible stuff happening to our main characters, and then the second half is the comeuppance of the villains. I actually think this one's much better balanced though, because it builds to the horror stuff a lot better, and then once it happens I feel like it's not just revenge, it's like I said, it's protecting themselves, and like, you know, the dad has to get his baby back. But there's not a whole lot of notable actors in this, but I will mention Dee Wallace. She was the mum in a lot of horror movies for a long time, and even some non-horror movies, because you'll know her as the mum from E.T. She was the mum in Cujo. She was the character in The Howling. She popped up a lot in these movies. She got around. This must have been one of her first ones. And I will also mention the mustache on the husband character, who I felt was the best character in the entire film.
Yeah.
Doug.
No, the mustache, not Doug. The mustache.
No, the mustache on Doug.
That mustache had a life of its own. But yeah, let's get into it then. Let's talk characters first, I guess. Joseph.
Best character in the movie. All right. Well, Joseph, you can talk after me.
That's fine. Tim, you go for it.
That's it. He used to have a mustache like Doug's. Now he misses it. Now that you mention it.
Yeah, that's what that is.
No, easily the best character in the movie has to go to Beast. That dog was the shit. It's like I have a soft spot in my heart for animals taking revenge against humans. So like to me, that just made the whole movie like this badass lone wolf dog just like seeing its mate get killed and being like, "Oh fuck no, I'm gonna take out these lunatic inbred cannibal yahoos," and just running around and like pushing them off rocks and like ripping their throats out. Oh, this dog was the best.
So did you feel bad when Beauty was killed?
I did feel bad, but
Beauty
you know,
was a chump.
Yeah, I do.
She ran
I think
for
it's it's kind of annoying. Like, yeah. Well, I don't know if it's annoying, but I'm one of those people that's usually doesn't give a shit about the humans in movies, but always gets super sad when like a dog or animal gets killed. So I was sad when Beauty got killed, but if she had to get killed for Beast to like fucking go like Rambo First Blood on these guys, I am completely fine with that.
Yeah, actually, now that you mention it, I think the dog single-handedly takes out more members of the bad guys than any of the humans in the movie.
Takes out Mercury and Pluto.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. Dog's a badass.
They had that nice setup in the beginning. That Beast, no, Beauty's very loud. Beast, he stays quiet. He waits for the kill to make any noise. Sneaks around them, then attacks.
Which is probably why he survives, and he is the badass, and Beauty goes down, which is a shame.
It's that rule where if you don't say anything and you just fuck shit up, you're automatically the coolest.
Yeah.
Aye,
Very
of course.
Pete's having flashbacks to all the times he was badass in his life. He's like, yeah, that was me.
Yeah. I recall one or two situations. Joseph, what did you think of the family then? The sort of all of our main characters.
Ruby would probably be a very interesting one. How she's grown up in the same upbringing as Pluto, Mars, and Mercury. Yet
I meant the
she doesn't.
I meant the good characters, the family.
I'm not interested in them. They just seem like a random family on vacation. The father was a bit of a jerk. That he had to go see this silver mine that none of them wanted to see. And then he doesn't even seem to really care about his son-in-law who has his grandchild, and I guess he has
Did
two
he
other
say
children.
something
That's all I
racist
remember.
at some point too?
He did. He was talking about when he was a cop in Cleveland, I think, and he used some racial language describing the people that he used to deal with.
Good. I'm glad he died.
That's oddly kind of a sign of like that it is like a 40-year-old movie now at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I want to point out some of the. I actually really like how it builds to them finally sort of attacking the family, because you get hints of them like on walkie-talkies to each other, and like there's always this constant sense that they're watching the family. You know,
Yeah.
they're always on the lookout, and it does sort of naturally build tension. And I think there's all these little scares building up to it, but the one that I really like is when the younger son, I mean he's not young, but he's still an adult, but he's the younger sort of son who thinks he's locked himself out, but then the camera cuts inside,
Yeah.
and what's his name, Michael Berryman, I think his name is, the bald guy, who's one
Pluto.
of the is that his name? Was that Pluto?
Pluto.
And he's like holding the door shut, and it's just kind of like, oh shit, one of them's inside. And it gets quite creepy, and you get this sense that all the family's in danger when these people are around. Like, they don't really care. They don't have some sort of moral compass, with the exception of the female one, obviously.
Ruby.
Yeah, Ruby. But like when they're in that camper, you're like really properly scared for like all the characters, especially when they're fighting over who gets to rape the woman. Like, cause like Michael Berryman's about to do it, and then the older brother or whoever like pulls him off. He's like, nah, you don't gotta be a man. And he's like got that thick voice.
Yeah.
And this is after, by the way, he's bit the head off of a bird and poured the
And
blood
drank it.
into his mouth. Yeah. I thought it was
Yeah,
From
that was
me though,
That's just a ritual going to war.
I just didn't care about any of the family members though, so that it never made me care about any of them. So even though they were in danger, it just didn't really matter.
I don't know if I quite agree with that. Like, I wouldn't say that I care about them to the same extent I would care about characters in something else, but I've seen other horror movies that fail spectacularly, like we're to the point where I'm actively wanting the characters to die. Whereas in this, I thought they were fine.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad, obviously, but it never gave me any reason to connect with any of the characters. Like, for me, that's how I felt. Like, they weren't bad, they weren't annoying. I didn't want them to die, but I didn't really care either way.
I think, though, that I kind of liked that aspect, though, that this was just like an average family, that like it could have happened to anyone. It's probably it actually did happen to, other people. And I don't know, like I mean, maybe it might be a little cop out, kind of using that as a reasoning, after the movie's made and stuff. Like, they probably could have done a little better character development, but I do kind of like that it's just like, these are normal everyday people.
Yeah, I kind of like that too. And I think for me, when you don't really care about them until after bad stuff's happened, and like they've kidnapped the baby, and like, although it does suffer one of these things that I think a lot of horror movies from this era suffer. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre being the worst for it, and that's a female character who won't stop screaming for about 10 minutes.
Oh my god.
And it's just hysterical.
There's one, that one long like stint. I
kept
we've lost.
Tim, your camera's turned off. Turn it back on.
Oh, sorry.
His point's so poignant that Skype couldn't handle the video. Oh, you don't have to wait for it to go back on. Just go for it.
Oh no. Oh, well, it shows it's back on my end.
But... Oh no, it's still a spinning circle for us. But sorry, on you go.
Oh no, I'm just saying that. Yeah, that was really annoying.
Well, yeah.
Every female in that movie was the screaming female, it seemed.
Yeah, although I did like that when the older sister went into the camper, she did immediately try fighting him. And I mean, she got shot twice for her troubles, but she did put up a fight. Which I like. She wasn't just the...
Well, that maternal instinct, seeing that they had her baby, that was actually a pretty good moment.
Also, so that's a weird thing to point out, but there's a Pringles can at one point in the background, and I didn't realise Pringles were that old. I didn't realise Pringles existed in the 1970s. I thought they were like a 90s invention. I don't know. What? I was born in '89. How am I meant to know Pringles existed in 1977?
You assume that they're
you
older.
do your research.
Oh, I'll do my research in future time.
Do your research, then you come on the podcast. That's how it works.
I'll research all the chips and drinks.
Tim was going to school you today.
Yeah.
I was just waiting for my opportunity.
I don't think he was expecting the schooling opportunity to come from a can of Pringles, though.
I'm sure he'll just take you where it comes.
Because he planned and he researched.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Tim. When were Pringles invented?
40 is 7.
That wasn't even English. Oh dear.
It's true. America just came home from the war, and they wanted a salty, sprinkly treat.
I bet it was about 54.
Right.
That's my guess.
Yeah. That's yeah.
All right.
We'll figure this out.
What other moments did Joseph? What other moments did you like or want to mention?
Well, I mean, that's the point where you start rooting for the family is when the baby is taken, and that's where Doug becomes the main character that you're kind of rooting for, because seeing his wife killed and his baby taken, he becomes the driving force of the counterattack. And being a father myself, I can kind of see myself rooting for him there, thinking if my own son got taken by this kind of band, my team would put the dog beast to start killing them one by one.
Yeah, and also they do make like the hillbilly, maybe hillbilly is too soft a word for this family, but you know what I mean, the inbred hill people, cannibals, yeah. Like when they actually start talking about how they're going to eat the baby, you're like, oh shit, that's okay, like things are on here. Oh, and by the way,
maybe I'll make a joke and eat its toes.
Pringles were invented in 1967. Oh, look at you, look it up as well.
I looked it up too.
I just got it as well.
Jesus, let it go, man.
So they were relatively new in 1977. So
Well, 10 years is hardly relatively new. By after 50 years,
They
sure,
maybe
but
only
in
had maybe
general,
a few
it's not that
flavors.
new.
out of 60
Old
years,
enough
that's the
for-
first decade. That's relatively new. Okay, let's move on with the film. um, yeah, so
I wanna know, is this the first instance on screen of like a creepy gas station owner trying to warn someone not to go somewhere?
probably not. Because Texas Chainsaw Massacre was before this, or did he?
I
No, he
was
didn't.
convinced
He
you
didn't
were
warn
going to say
anyone, though.
Pringles.
He didn't warn anyone, though, did he?
Yeah, he told
No,
him
he
not to
told
go to
them
the
you
silver
don't want to
mine.
go to the Silver Mine.
No,
But
no, no,
when
no,
they-
no, no, no. I mean Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, Texas. Oh,
I don't think he.
I
I
don't know.
don't think he
Top of
warned
my-
him. I think he was actually in on it, so no, he probably wouldn't have warned him.
But I actually liked that gas station owner guy, and I thought that was a pretty cool scene at night when he when his son or whatever like grabs him and pulls him through the window.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice that they made him part of the backstory, even if that's a little bit convenient. But I mean,
Yeah.
it works. I mean, that's
Jupiter
fine.
wouldn't let him leave.
Yeah. So I mean that works well enough. I think the setting of the film works quite well too, because it really does make the family feel isolated. Like there is no help coming from any direction because they're in the middle of the desert. You know.
Oh yeah.
They're truly cut off, and all they have is this camper. And you do feel like anyone could just break down that door, and you know they're done. There's like no protection.
That brings up another good moment in the film because they had previously attacked an airfield, the cannibal family. So
Yeah.
when the family start trying to call for help and they get somebody on the line, they think that they can have help coming. That isolation, they ask, so what is your defense at the moment? Well, we have one gun, and they finally find out it's just the family kind of scouting them out.
Yeah.
And it also shows how the cannibal family is a little more intelligent than we're giving them credit for sometimes in some parts of the movie.
Yeah, they're pretty feral, but they actually do have some intelligence in them. Yeah, yeah. I guess I will say I also like, even though it ends really abruptly, I do like the ending, particularly the younger brother and sister dealing with the older cannibal with a series of traps that they've set up for him. I like how it turns into sort of extreme Home Alone.
Yeah.
Just for the ending.
That was pretty cool.
I really didn't like how it just cut to the ending. Like, I think that was a bit too abrupt.
Oh yeah, the actual ending moment's really abrupt because, like, you know, the mustache guy just kills the last one and it just goes red. End of the movie, credits.
Stabbing him constantly.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, all we needed really was one wide shot of him with the baby and the dog slowly walking towards the brother and sister on the highway, and then maybe they hug, fade to black.
Maybe
Credits.
have a funny line like "Next time you buy dinner" or something.
Okay.
That would have been.
Oh dear, Tim. Oh dear.
Why do we let Tim talk?
I don't know. Interesting little bit. I remember I listened to the commentary for this on the DVD like 10 years ago. Whenever I first watched this, and Wes Craven told a story about how him and I think the producer drove out to like a desert to scout the location, and they thought their car was breaking down in the middle of the desert, and they generally thought for about 5 minutes they were probably going to die in the desert, and then the car just started up, and they're like, oh thank fuck. So it's interesting that while scouting the location, which they did on their own, they very nearly found themselves in a similar situation. Not that there's actual, you know, cannibals in the hills.
We don't know there's not.
We don't know there's not, but I'm not saying there definitely is. Is all I'm saying.
That's out in Matt's territory. We'll have to ask him.
Maybe Matt's got some family in the hills. Heard some stories. I'm trying to think of some other cool, like when when Michael
The
Byrne.
dad's
when
death?
No, I was thinking Pluto gets like his back of his ankle bit by the dog,
Oh yeah.
and there's
He's
like
just trying to reach for his knife. Yeah,
Yeah,
the dog
and-
pulls him back.
It's pretty good.
and there's a close up of like the bone coming out of the back of the ankle, which is
Ugh.
really cringeworthy. Admittedly, the blood in this movie is really fake looking, so at least it stops it from being too cringeworthy. Like, because the blood's so fake looking, you're like, oh well, it's even though you always know it's fake anyway, but like when the blood's
mutant blood.
It's mutant blood, yeah. They're mutants. They're inbred.
Teenagers.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Connor.
Sorry.
God damn it. My horror.
I would not last long because they would just know they'd know where I am from the hiccups, and they'd be like, "Right, you're dead."
Yeah. Yeah. I'm never letting you on a film set. By the way, you can't be on location whilst recording scenes of dialogue because you'll just ruin all of them.
Yeah, I have to when I'm in a studio. I have to like force myself to absolutely not do it, no matter what, and it's painful.
Yeah, for a guy in the sound profession, you'd really have quite a annoying disability. Oh dear. Anyway, alright, so Joseph, why don't you give us anything else you want to talk about the film and your final sort of thoughts? But not rating.
No rating. Well, something to ask all of you. How many of us have... I haven't seen the sequel to this, the original sequel. Have any of you?
No.
Seen the Hills of Ice too? So, if we haven't seen the sequel, what do you think happens to them? Like, does Ruby join them and go live with them?
I have no idea. I know Michael Berryman's in the sequel because he's on the cover. But that's that.
Well, it's just like kind of completing the story yourself, just kind of seeing where you would take it. What happens to the family and Ruby after that?
Given the time period, I'm just going to guess that the family's not even in it, and it's like a new family that show up, and Michael Berryman's got a new gang of mutants. That's what I think happens.
I'm not necessarily referring to you make the sequel yourself. I'm just saying how you would have ended this with closure of the Ruby and the family that survived the attack by the cannibals.
Alright, the sister shoots Ruby in the head because despite the help, she doesn't want any of these mutants sort of like around because she was raped by one of them. And then the family start walking back the way to the gas station, and then try phone for help. Well, they've got those walkie-talkies actually. They could keep trying the radio for their base, and a month
later we find out she's pregnant.
Yeah, there you go. That sets up your sequel. There you go. She's got evil incarnate inside her belly. There you go. Connor, anything else you wanted to add?
Yeah, that scene Joseph mentioned where they were on the radio and they thought it was police and they were like scan them out. That was probably my favourite. I thought the music was a bit disjointed. Like it didn't really decide on a style. It kind of kept flicking between a few different things, and that kind of it bugged me a little bit.
I wonder if that's maybe because they got it from different sources or something like that. Because it was a low-budget movie, so maybe it wasn't.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not entirely sure, but whatever it was, it just didn't quite work throughout. Some of it was good, like some of it suited perfectly, but like some of it just felt a bit off.
Last House on the Left is actually much worse for that, because every time the comic relief characters come on the screen, this like really happy
I can just picture
music.
The trombone. I can picture the trombone.
You should just look up the. I'm sure it's probably on YouTube, but if you look up the chicken lady scene from Last House on the Left, it's so awful.
Given what the rest of that movie's about, that thing is so out of place.
It's so bizarre.
Tim, anything else you want to add to this before we wrap up?
I don't know. I quite enjoyed this. It's not my all-time favorite Wes Craven flick, but it's definitely up there. Probably top 3. And I don't think it's ever really come up before, but I actually do have kind of a weird liking of like crazy inbred hillbilly people, not in real life, but like in terms of like movies and stuff, like any like creepy southern mountain folk. I'm usually kind of interested in. So yeah, this is this is cool. Not the best film ever. It's it was a little low budget, kind of seemed very grindhousey, but I'd say it's definitely worth a watch, enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean visually it looks like shit. Like the image quality is just terrible because it was shot in really I think 16mm probably, if that.
Ugh,
And
the worst note.
Tim, it's just but no, I like it a lot. I think it's got a good amount of tension, and I like how it's just one simple event and all the things that fall out from that simple event. I mean, it's not in real time, but it's not far off of it, because it is just that one night, you know. And I like that kind of bottle, everything's set in this one location, and it's people being scared of what's on the other side of the walls, because they're in this one little box, and then it's just danger outside. And I kind of like that setting. I think it's handled quite well here. So no, I'm into this. It's definitely maybe my second favourite or third favourite Wes Craven movie. So that's good stuff. So yeah, Joseph is eager to say something.
I just looked up some more trivia on this. It's actually based off a true legend of people who did this in the Highlands of Scotland.
That doesn't surprise me. I think Scotland is still doing that now.
Don't give Connor fuel for the Scottish racism that comes from England.
Near East Lothian County, near Edinburgh, in the early 1400s, they captured, tormented, and ate several translates.
Joseph, it's pronounced.
I can't pronounce your.
It's pronounced Edinburgh.
I'm not from there.
Edinburgh. Sounds. I wish we want a burger. Edinburgh. Oh dear. Oh dear.
That's where it was. So this is actually based off the Scottish.
A legend. It may not have happened. Let's just point that out. Not that I care if it did or didn't, to be honest. But.
They're still regarded as a national hero, but it's like our version of Johnny Appleseed.
Yeah,
Johnny Human Flesh.
Yeah, Edinburgh is the one way that Americans mispronounce one of our cities. The other one is Glasgow, gets pronounced Glasgow. They like to say.
To be fair, though, the way you guys spell it, come on.
It's the same as Moscow. It's
Glasgow
Moscow.
is fine. Yeah.
Yeah, same
Oh
as
no,
Moscow.
Glasgow one thing, but Edinburgh, come on. You're kind of asking for it with the way it's spelled.
Get some culture in your life, Tim. That's all.
It's all right. There are words that Americans pronounce much worse than Edinburgh.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, so let's wrap this up then. Let's get some ratings for The Hills Have Eyes. How many kidnapped babies out of 10, Connor, would you give The Hills Have Eyes?
Okay, it was good, but it never really grabbed me, so a 6.
Okay, Joseph, kidnapped babies out of 10?
7.5 kidnapped Atticuses out of 10.
Oh, talk about putting yourself into it.
And chopping one in half as well.
Yeah, just chop your son in half, you sick fuck. Oh, he did clone 7 of them first though, so he's got a few late spares just sitting about. I mean, if you had 8 of them, you'd probably want one of them to get...
Don't tell Jesse. Just don't tell Jesse.
After all that, oh, I know what it's like. I'm a father. I really felt for the character. I'll just chop one in half. Tim, how many kidnapped babies out of 10?
I think Joseph's on the money here. I'll go with a 7.5 too.
All right, okay. I'm tempted to say the same, but I think I'm going to stretch just a little bit higher. I'm going to go with 8 kidnapped babies out of 10. I like how grimy this movie feels. It feels very... It feels almost not like a movie and more like a documentary because of how rough it's shot and how rough it looks. And I really sort of like that quality to it. I think it's definitely the most visceral movie that Wes Craven made. Well, you could argue Last House on the Left's more visceral, but I'll say visceral but also good movie that Wes Craven made. I know Joseph.
Last House on the Left.
Yeah, I know Joseph is going to disagree with that, but we'll do that another day if I can convince the other members to watch it, because they might not want to. Joseph.
I can understand that. That's a very rough film.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm down for watching it again, but honestly, it makes me laugh more than it does
Yeah. I think
any horrifying thing.
I think a much more interesting rape revenge movie to watch would be I Spit in Your Grave, but that's just me.
Never actually seen that.
See, that's why it'd be more interesting right away, because you've not seen it before. Alright guys, that'll wrap us up then. That was The Hills Have Eyes, Wes Craven's film from 1977. We will be back next week with Kevin's most anticipated film of the year, and that is M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong presenting The Village, not The Village, The Visit. See, he's got two movies
He's
with
come
the
again.
exact same title. Right, yeah. So The Visit's coming out this week, this Friday. In fact, we're going to go see it, and we'll be talking about it next Tuesday. And Kevin better be back to go see it.
If not, I will stab him.
Because Connor's going to have to go see it now anyway, because Tim's not going to be here.
Fuck you, Tim.
I'm sorry.
I won't be here either.
Yes, you will.
Yes,
you wouldn't miss this for the world, Joseph. You want to be here for the train wreck. You know you do.
I do.
Yeah, see, there you go.
I want to be here to see the hope in Kevin's eyes die.
As we butcher all of his hopes and dreams in front of him. Okay, let's say goodbyes then. So we'll quickly just say people where they can find us. That was not good English, but whatever. Connor over there, where can people find you on the interwebs?
You can find me here on the Malphas Network at the 1080-bit Gaming Podcast, and other than that, you can find me on Twitter at ConnorRyan94.
Cool. Joseph, where can people find you?
On Twitter and Letterboxd at jkohler_93. Surprised no one else plugs it as much, but the Mild Fuzz Facebook group, where I just try to usurp Overlord Peter's authority daily, sometimes by making a fake profile of Peter.
Interesting.
And causing chaos.
Yeah, causing chaos indeed.
And everyone blaming Kevin.
Tim, where can people find you?
Pretty much any social media thing at Tim Vargulish. I'm on other Malfas podcasts, guesting from time to time, and I'm also here weekly on the Hellraisers, the Hellblazer podcast. I'm not even going to try to redo what happened last week when I plugged it. Yeah, and then if you want to check out my comic book stuff, facebook.com/GoatManComics.
Cool. If you want to find me online, you can find me at Wibble89. That's on Twitter, Tumblr, Letterboxd, Instagram, all that stuff. You can also find me on other shows here, such as the Movies Podcast, 1.21 Gigawatts, the TV Podcast, Almost Cancelled, the new Buffy the Vampire Slayer podcast, in which we are reviewing every single episode of Buffy the Angel in viewing order. That goes out every Friday, so that's a lot of fun. That's the Slayer Revisited. And also this time, Connor mentioned the 1080-bit podcast, but we also have a 1080-bit Plays YouTube channel, and we stream content on Twitch. So if you're into gaming, in particular if you're watching this and you're into horror, me and Tim have been putting out weekly parts of the original Silent Hill. So if you're into horror video games as well as horror movies, there's stuff there for you too. There's also a quick video that's about 30 minutes long of a few of us try to play Five Nights at Freddy's, and you can see me properly shit myself.
It's worth it. It's funny.
Yeah, you can check that out. But that's us, guys. That Screams After Midnight, episode, I think, 16, but my numbers might be off. Thanks for watching, guys. Keep watching scary movies. And we'll be back next week with possibly the most terrifying theatre experience that we've had all year. Bye, guys.
Bye.